Good evening. How y'all doing today? So I'm come back with the rest of this story, and we gonna go ahead and try to wrap it up today. Cause it ain't a whole lot of other stuff that had. I mean, it was, but the most important stuff because this is a very very long story, and so I'm trying to shorten it up as possible, as short as I can get it. So we left off. I'm done with the relationship. I've already told him that once the lease is up, he go his way, I go my way, and that's it. Okay, so we said that he did what he did, you know what I'm saying, but then we came back to another situation, which lands us at one night. I am, like I told y'all, I was hiding my money and my keys and stuff in a hole in the yard at the house that we was living in. And so this time he came in, he had been out smoking or whatever, and so he came in and he needed some more money to continue getting high. So what he does, he come and he asked me for $20. Mind you, I had been drinking myself. So I'm over here chilling, I'm in my zone, and like I told y'all, I stopped sleeping in the bedroom because he would always destroy the room in the closet, and so it just be stuff everywhere, and I'm not finna clean up to go and lay in the bed. I just pulled the mattress out in the living room, and so that's where I was sleeping at the time. Towards the end of the relationship, that's why I was sleeping. We did sleep in the bed in the beginning, but then once he got off the chain with the smoking and stuff, that came to a halt. So I just started sleeping in the living room on the mattress. So he comes in from out smoking, and he buzzing, he need another hit. So he come and ask me for $20. I tell him no, like always. And so because we've already discussed that we done, I'm no longer catering to him. If he gets stranded somewhere, don't call me. But he gonna call me anyway. But when he called me, I'm not running. Not like I used to. If he be like, babe, I'm over here stranded on such and such street, can you come get me? No. Nope. I do that for my man. You're not my man no more. So therefore, you're going to have to find your own way back here if you want to come back here or whatever. So I'm just not going to be the one to go pick you up. So things were working like that. And he was on chill mode. He was cool with it, you know what I'm saying? Because he would still get to see me and stuff like that. So at this point, I'm not into, having relations and stuff with him like that. Now, in the beginning, when I first told him that we gonna go our separate ways, I did continue, we did continue sleeping together or whatever, but then I cut that off. So once I cut that off, now we get to the point where he's just taking it, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm in there asleep, he'll wait till I'm good and sleep and come in and get him some. So we gonna brush all past that or whatever, because that is some of the things that they do. I'm just gonna mention it. I'm not gonna go in full detail about that. So he asked me for the $20. I am laying on the mattress at this time. My son is on his mattress. Now there's two living rooms. So my son is in the living room where the TV is, and I'm in like the den. But as soon as you walk through the door, you enter both living rooms. So the first section you in, I called that the den. And so that's why I was laying. But me and my son was like, he was here and I was here and he was there. So our heads were meeting like this on the mattresses. My son was on his own mattress, and I'm on this mattress over here, and there's a couch right next to my son. So the arm of the edge of the chair is at my son's head and at my head. So my son's laying there. He's watching TV. I think I'm playing on my phone or something. Yeah, I'm playing on my phone. And so he comes in and, he asks me for the $20. But before he asked me for the $20, he asked me, can he hold my phone because his phone just died and he need to make a call real quick or something. Either way, he asked for my phone. I gave it to him. And when I gave it to him, he took the phone apart. So when he take the phone apart, we already know what time that is, because he always disassemble my phone anytime there's going to be a fight, if he can get to my phone first. You know what I'm saying? So I hand over the phone, not knowing what he got up his sleeve. because he asked for the phone first, then he asked for the $20. So after he asked for the $20, after he asked for the phone, I gave it to him or whatever. He took it apart, and then he asked for $20. And so when he took the phone apart, he threw it in different places. So by the time he get ready to start swinging, I ain't gonna have time to go and put the phone back together to call no police. I just can't never call the police whenever I'm dealing with him. So he asked me for the $20. I tell him no. And at this time, I'm drinking. I'm under the influence. And so, I'm saying, I ain't really in the mood to fight. And plus, I'm laying on this mattress. So, lo and behold, he drops down on top of me and he starts choking me. And so at this moment, I'm thinking I have asthma, and that's what they're treating me for, but it actually was a thyroid problem that I had, which was the same thing my mom had, and they was giving her asthma treatments and things like that for her situation, and that wasn't even the case at all. So at this time, I'm just letting y'all know that I had an inhaler. I don't use an inhaler now to this day, but when he was choking me because I'm under the influence, I ain't really taking into consideration how serious this thing is right now. But he is choking me, and I'm starting to sweat and stuff like that. He ain't like choking me till I'm like, I can still talk to him, and but he got me in the chokehold with his arm, choking me like this. So it's crazy. So I'm asking him to just turn the fan on. I'm like, if you're going to choke me, go ahead and choke me. I said, but since you sitting here and you halfway choking me, I said, won't you turn the fan on so I can get some air? Let's do this. And then I'm like, let me get up. Let's go toe to toe. But he don't want that, because every time we go toe to toe, what happens. And so he like to get me on a slick tip all the time now. So he's choking me or whatever, and I'm asking him to turn the fan on so I can breathe, and I'm asking him to give me my inhaler, because now I'm freaking out. I'm hyperventilating because he's really choking me, and I need to get free. So my son is there, and I'm asking to turn the fan on, and I'm asking for my inhaler. My son go and get my inhaler, and he turns on the fan. When my son went to reach for the switch to turn the fan on in the living room, the crackhead jumped up off me, and he jumped in my son's face. Now, when he jumped in my son's face, my son was 13 at the time, and my son took him down, did what he had to do. After they did their little thing or whatever, their little altercation, no, I didn't call the cops. Why I didn't call the cops? I'll tell you why. Because at this point, they're literally fighting from one end of the house to the other end of the house. And so I get my son up off of him, because my son is winning at this point. So I get my son up off of him, and I put my son in his room, and I close the door. Now, I'm holding the crackhead back, trying to keep him from, because now they done tussle. He really in fight mode. And at first, he wasn't like he wanted to hit him or anything like that, because they ain't never been in that situation before. But once it clicked in him that, oh, Jit want to fight. So then he started acting as if he was just a regular grown man on the streets. And so me still in shock and drunk all at the same time, we could have jumped him, but I wasn't thinking like that. I'm just trying to keep him off my son, because I don't want him, I want the fight to stop. So at this point, the phone all kind of places. I don't even know where the freaking phone at, but didn't think to call the police. Just wanted everything to calm down and chill so I can get my thoughts back together, because everything is happening so fast that it's just, it was like a blur. It happened. I'm over here in the midst of being choked till I'm about to pass out. And now I got to jump up because now they're fighting. And it was just a whole bunch of stuff. So everything calmed down. I went on ahead and gave him the $20 so he can go ahead and get up out the house or whatever. And so At this point, he done took the phone with him. So ain't no calling the police. I could go run to a neighbor's house or whatever, but I was private about my stuff. I didn't go and tell anybody anything. And so my son was fine. It was just wrong in all shapes, forms, and fashions, because my son shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. So I take full accountability for what went down with my son, because had he not seen that, he wouldn't have got involved. But I also thank God all at the same time that my son was there, because if he wasn't there, ain't no telling what would have happened to me that night. I probably wouldn't have made it that night, because even though he was like, to me, he was teetering on the seesaw of, I'm going to go on and do it. And then, like, on the other end, now I ain't going to really do it, but you making me want to do that to you. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy for me or whatever. So, like I said, no, I didn't call the police, but I did something else. You know what I'm saying? We'll get there. So, and you might ask why I didn't call another day or so. You'll find out why later on in this story. Really didn't make a difference whether I told them or not, because we gonna get there. So I could have told one family member and it would have ended, but I didn't want it to go to that extent, so I didn't say anything until after the relationship was over. In a way, they still wanted to go and get him after that, but then it's like, ain't much we can do about it now because you waited too long to say something. But if you'd have said something then, Buddy would have been gone. And that's what I knew. So I was protecting him all at the same time, because if I'd have opened my mouth to the right person, it'd have been a TKO, and not in a good way. So I was careful with who I shared information with, because I knew that if I'd have said something to life with Tashana, yeah, it wouldn't have went pretty. So we held on to that and we moved past that. But now that he knows that I am dead serious about leaving now, once that happened, that was it. If I had any little piece of ounce of I might want to stay with him and work things out, because he's giving me all these puppy dog faces and he looking like a broke dick dog walking around and all this stuff. If I felt any type of feelings for him, it would have been before him and my son fought. I told you, you messed my baby, that's a different thing. Once he did that, that's all I needed right there, and everything just disappeared from there. The feelings went away, because now we on a different level now. That thing made me sick to my stomach, and it should have, because for one, my baby should not have been in that situation in the first place. But he did what he needed to do to protect his mama, and we talk about this situation all the time, because I try to make sure that he is good mentally. And I've apologized to him several times, and he just was like, you ain't gotta apologize, Mom, because all those times where he was doing things to you and I wasn't old enough to do anything or big enough to help you, he said that moment I was big enough to help you. He said I always wanted to help you whenever he would do things to you, but I was too small and I was scared. He said that day I was not scared and I felt like I could beat him up. That's what he felt. But that's why I tell you, your kids get affected by these things just as well as you do. You not only dating these psychos and narcs and crazy people, your kids are dating them too, because they get affected by everything that they do to you, that they see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears. Whether they actually see it, they're still being affected. If they just hear it, they're still being affected, because they hear it, they see it. Kids ain't slow. Sometimes we like, oh, they don't need to know what's going on, but we doing things in front of these kids and they can clearly see and make good sense of what's going on. Definitely they could do that. So here we is, I'm telling him, I'm like, you know what? all jokes aside, I say this right here is it for me. I say if you can get out of here any sooner, that would be great. I say because this right here ain't gonna work for me at all. I say you definitely won't get another chance with me. I say if you want to take me out, but don't touch my child again. And so he was like, nah, that was just stupid of me. He was like, I ain't never did that, and it was the drugs that made me do that. He said, I feel so sick about that, this, that, and the third, but it is what it is. It happened. You can't take that back now. So at this point, I got to do what I got to do to stay alive and to make sure that him and my son don't get into it no more, because it's getting really, really dangerous now. So the next thing we run up on is we getting closer to the lease being up. So the closer we're getting to the lease being up, the crazier he's getting, because he's knowing the day is coming. And the day is like right around the corner. And so he's like freaking out because he know once this is done, I ain't ever gonna see her again. It's gonna be really, really done, because I done the unthinkable to her now. Yeah, out of everything else he done did, total one car, wrecked one car, all the fights and stuff that we done did, and selling my groceries, pouring stuff on punching holes in the walls. He did all kind of stuff, and none of that stuff got me to a point where I was really ready to leave him until him and my son got into it. That was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was the last straw. That was curtains closed, last call for alcohol, whatever you want to call it. That was the end. The end. END, end. Period. Point blank. No ifs, and buts about it. It was over and done with the moment him and my son fell out. That was it. So, like I said, at this point, I'm doing whatever I got to do to survive, because the next story that's coming up, I called the cops. Did they do anything for me? Nope. So I had to continue trying to stay alive until the lease was up. Okay? So, next thing that happens, and this is weeks apart, because now here we are, we move out that Monday. So this is the week before we move out of the house or whatever. So I get a upper respiratory infection, and once I got off work, I came home because I'm gonna pop some Benadryl. Benadryl usually helps for the beginning stages with the itchy throat, the scratchy throat, itchy eyes, and you know, all the other little symptoms that you can take it for, to knock those symptoms out so you can get some rest. And so Benadryl was my go-to, because I can't take a lot of over-the-counter medicines anyway. So I got to start there first. And if that doesn't work, then I go to the hospital. So I start there. I come home. I'm feeling like crap. I cook. I clean. I do whatever I need to do for me and my son. Because like I said, I'm not feeding him like that. If I cook food, I'll make enough, but I ain't fixing his plate. After everything he used to do to me, I would still cook for him, consider him and everything, still fix his plate, bring his plate to him, a napkin, a drink, a fork, everything. Still doing everything I would do for a person I'm in love with. At this point, I done took all of that away. No body to body, we ain't doing none of that. Don't touch me. I meant that. You touch me in that way, I will call the police. Now, before we got to this point, he was ripping through my clothes and all that good stuff. But then when him and my son fought, that changed the whole ball game. And he knew I wasn't playing in that area, but he thought I was playing in every other area. But when it came to my son, he didn't try that no more. He left my son alone. He didn't bother with him. He, kind of walked on eggshells around him, because he know he did wrong. He knew he was dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just how things was going. So back to, I went home, cleaned up, made us some dinner or whatever, and fed me and my son, made sure my son had his bath. And I'm sorry, my son was not there. That was a weekend. My son was not there for this event. So I went home, I made me something to eat, and I got myself situated, cleaned up whatever I need to clean up around the house or whatever. And my son was already at my cousin's house, because on the weekends he usually go over there, and I was cool with him doing that because that was like a comfort zone for me and for him to be out of all the chaos and everything, and so he don't have to feel, awkward, and just so he gets some kind of freedom away from the chaos and stuff. So I let him go over my cousin's house every weekend. He enjoyed it. She didn't mind him coming, and so he would go over there on the weekends and stuff. So this was a Friday going on Saturday. So this is Friday night. I get off work, go in, get myself situated, clean up a little bit. Then I pop my Benadryl. He knows I'm not feeling good. If I ain't feeling good, if I'm laying down around somewhere, stuff like that, I'm really not feeling good, because I don't care. I usually work through whatever I'm feeling. But when I'm down, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? So he knows I'm sick at this moment. So he gonna take full advantage of this. We gonna be real inconsiderate, because I'm already acting like I don't want nothing to do with him no more. So he trying to show me the same thing back in return. So he just kind of moving how he want to, and it's easy for him to do so now because I'm weak. I can't fend for myself, and he know I ain't gonna be in the mood to fight. So he taking it as, oh, this will be a good time for me to go and try her up. So any other time, I bury my money and my keys in the yard. But because I'm under the weather right now, I'm not thinking straight. So what I do is I hurry up and try to get home, do what I need to do so I can lay down in the bed and go to sleep. So I forget to bury my keys and my money, which put me in a bad, dangerous situation. Okay? So I get everything settled. I get settled in. Now it's time for me to go to sleep. So I lay down. I go to sleep. And I don't know how long I was asleep. I don't remember the exact time of everything, but it was nighttime when I went to sleep. And when I went to sleep, he was not in the house. He was gone off to smoke or whatever. And next thing I know, I come back. I wake up to him tapping on me saying, hey, I need the like he done slipped and bumped his head or something, acting like he just drives my car, because after he totaled my last car, you don't drive my cars. You wasn't supposed to be driving my cars then, but you dang sure not driving my car now. So don't come up in here acting like you just come get my keys anytime you want to go take my car for a stroll. You don't. So sick or not, I'm gonna tell you no. So he comes, wake me up, and he's like, I need the keys. I need to run to Titusville real quick, which I'm in Vero Beach, Florida, which is an hour away from Titusville. And he wants to take my car to Titusville. Hell no. You ain't taking my car nowhere. What you mean? He was like, I need to go to Titusville. He was like, either you gonna let me get the car, or you gonna come take me to go where I need to go. And I'm like, I'm not taking you nowhere. I don't feel good. And plus, I've done took Benadryl. I'm not driving nowhere. He's like, you ain't got to drive. You can just sit on the passenger side and I'll drive. You know I'm good. I could drive. Sir, you ain't driving nothing. So he throws out a couple of threats and different things like that. And so at this moment, he got my keys and he got my wallet. And he's already, I don't keep cash on me. I keep my cards on me. So my cards is what I bury. And if I do have cash, I bury all that too. But this time I made sure I put everything on my card. And the crazy thing that I didn't do was change my PIN. But I didn't give him my card like that anyway. He had my card one time to go in the store, and that was with him and my son. And so I thought, maybe because he smoked so much or whatever, he will forget the PIN. But he remembered the PIN. But it was so long ago that he actually went in the store and used my card, because I didn't trust him with money and stuff like that because of what he doing. So I didn't change the pin on my card. So he was able to call my card and find out how much I had on it. Mind you, ever since I done put this hole in the yard, every day when I'm sleeping, he's tearing up the house looking for the keys and my money. He know it's in here somewhere, he just don't know where it's at. And so he done got frustrated with trying to find my money every single night when he get high. Trying to find my keys and my money so he can do whatever he want to do with it. And he can't find it. And so now he's getting pissed off. He's like, I know you got money. And where are your keys at? Where you keep hiding this stuff at? He's like, I done tore this house up from top to bottom, and I can't find it, so therefore it ain't in the house. So I'm sitting here like, man. I was like, I don't have no money. He's like, so you want to play with me tonight? And I'm like, I don't have any money. He say, lie to me again. I said, what am I lying to you about? So, I mean, he doing all the, trying to manhandle me and playing these little mind games and stuff with me. And then he's just like, well, I tell you what, since you lied to me, I'll take your cards and I'll break everything that's in your wallet. I'll throw your keys somewhere else, this, that, and the third. He was just going to do the most if I didn't get up and go with him. So to keep him from doing those things, I got up, got in the car. Mind you, I'm still under Benadryl. I'm still drowsy. I'm still sleepy as I don't know what. So I don't have time for this foolishness that he got going on. I ain't even got the energy to fight this man if he decides to haul off and hit me. I don't got it in me. Any other time, I'm ready and willing to fight him. But at this time, I am out here. I'm out in the ocean with no life raft. I ain't got nothing. I'm just out here. Sharks can eat me up. Point blank, period. I can get messed up really, really bad right now because I ain't gonna be able to defend myself. So I got to play along. I got to do whatever this man say he gonna say do, because I know he would break my cards. I know he would do something with my keys and my phone. So, I'm not finna play with him. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on up and I'm gonna go. So that's what I do. So now I'm outside against my will because I need to be sleeping this doggone Benadryl off, because Benadryl knocks me out. And so if I ain't completely slept it off, I'm still in the fog. And if you don't took Benadryl before and it do a number on you, put you to sleep, you already know what I'm talking about. So that's where I'm at. I'm in that phase with the Benadryl. So we get in the car. Mind you, I already told you, he know how much money is on my card and everything. Even though I'm sitting here lying and saying I ain't got no money, he know exactly how much money I got on my card. It ain't a whole lot of money. I gotta make this money stretch because we just got paid. He had just got paid. I just got paid. I paid the bills that I needed to pay or whatever. And so the change that I got, still got to put gas in the car to get me back and forth to work. Still got to do, whatever X, Y, and Z that I need extra done or whatever. It's my money. You spent yours on whatever you spent yours on. Now you want to eat up mine too. No. So we get to Titusville. Now, we riding all over town. And we stopped 4 places. The first place we stopped was to the Wawa gas station when we got in Titusville or whatever. We stopped there because he wanted to get him a beer. He got my cards. He got my card that got the money on it in his pocket. So when he go in the store, he take my card and he take the key out the ignition. I was praying with everything in me that he left them keys in there, because I'd have called and canceled the card. He could keep the card or whatever. I'd have called and canceled the card or whatever. But he took the phone with him when he went in the store too. So he was doing little things to keep me from leaving him until he slipped up. Okay? So he got the key, he got the wallet, he got the card, and he got my telephone. So I ain't calling nobody and I'm not running away. because he got all that with him in the store. So he was all nice and sweet and everything. He go in there and get me a cup of ice. Sir, I don't want no cup of ice right now. I want to leave you here. Crushed ice is my thing. And so I guess he was doing a big one by bringing me a cup of ice. In spite of him doing the things that he's doing and he know he wrong, let me just grab her a cup of ice too. Maybe that'll make her a little bit happy or whatever. No, ice usually do make me happy. But not this night. I want to leave you here. I am tired. I don't even know how I'm going to do this, but I'm trying to come up with a plan. But I'm so drowsy and, out of it and stuff. So trying to think and trying to keep myself woke so I can, keep focused on what's going on. It was starting to get the best of me or whatever. So we leave the gas station. We roll up to somebody's house. At this point, we going places I ain't never been with this man. We seeing people I ain't never met yet. This gonna be my first time meeting these people that we came across this night. So when we get around people, usually we pretend like everything is straight between us or whatever. So that's what he wanted when we went to the first place, because that was the only people that I actually got a chance to be around. But I ain't trying to cause no scene or nothing like that, because I just want to go home. I just want to leave him here. You know what I'm saying? Get away from him. So we go to these people's house. He goes, he knocks on the door. Of course, he take the phone and the keys. He leave the card, but he take the phone and he take the keys with him while he go knock on the door. So he knocked for a good minute. They finally came to the door. At this time, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. So he just rolling around knocking on folks' doors and trying to get money. So we go and we're at these people's house. They finally open the door after a couple of knocks or so. Then they let us come in his house. Now he tells me, come on, get out the car. I'm like, I don't want to go in the house. I want to stay out here and go to sleep. Give me the keys so I can turn the AC on. He's like, heck nah. He said, I ain't give you no keys for you to leave me. He said, nope, get out the car. He said, come inside and sit down and talk with these people with me till I get this money, and then we'll leave. So I get out the car, I go inside, and I'm just keeping a blank face because I'm high as a kite on the doggone Benadryl or whatever. So I'm looking the best way that I can look at this moment because I'm sleepy. I don't know these people, and I just want to go to sleep. Like, I want to lay my head down on these people's couch, and I don't even know them like that. I don't even conduct myself like that. So he's sitting there and he's talking to her husband, this lady's husband or whatever. He's friends with the husband, and the guy had a wife. So I'm sitting over there on the couch talking to her or whatever, and I guess he over there telling the man what's going on, this, that, and third. I guess for the man to have pity for him, to give him the money, it worked. The guy gave him some money. It just wasn't enough, because now after he give him the money, we leave, and then we go to somebody else's house. He needs some more money, but he was telling the guy some of the things that was happening or whatever, and the guy came over. He asked me, was I okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. He was like, he told me he been acting up. He was like, I could check him for you. And I'm like, I done heard that so many times. Don't even worry about it. I said, I'm good. So I said, I just want to go home and go get some rest. I'm not feeling good. So the guy was like, man, take her home. She ain't feeling good, man. You talking about you love this girl. You want to marry her, this, that, and the third. And she want to leave you. I see why she want to leave you, because you sitting here acting crazy or whatever. That's not even important, because at this time, I don't want him back. It's a wrap. So we leave there. We go to the next house across town somewhere, and now he's knocking on the door trying to get in these people's house. They're not answering the door. So we leave there and we go to another spot. This next spot, the guy came outside. He called him on the phone. The guy came outside. Now this guy wouldn't let him go in the house, so he had him, standing outside talking to him or whatever. And so he gave him a couple dollars or so, and he brought the guy over to meet me and everything. And he said what he needed to say, and then he went off. So the last place we get to, I know what this place is. I know who stay here. So I'm like, oh yes. I'm like, Lord, please let him leave the keys in the car and don't ask me to get out, Lord. I just want to go home. I don't want no problems. I just want to go home and lay down because I ain't supposed to be out here. And what I forgot to tell y'all too is that my license is suspended at this time. So he got me out here in the middle of the night rolling around in my car with my license suspended, which could get me in some trouble. So that was another reason I didn't want to be, driving or whatever either at nighttime, him nor myself. But crackhead want to go get crack. So it is what it is at this point. So I see where we going. I'm like, ooh, okay. His brother live here. I'm like, okay, girl, pull it together. Just like play cool. Just, do whatever I need to do to make him feel comfortable with leaving the key in the car so I can get away. So I did my best. He went on ahead and he left the key in the car. My phone, my wallet, everything was in the car with me. Now, his brother stayed in this apartment and he stayed upstairs. But there's a big field that he got to run across to get upstairs to his brother's apartment because we're actually parked at the back door, not the front of the apartment. So for him to go to the back door, he got to run across this field and go upstairs. And so I'm like, okay. So when he get out the car, I wait till he get to the stairs and he gets up the stairs and starts knocking on his brother's door. So that way, because I'm, I don't know how slow I'm moving. To me, I'm moving regular, but I'm sure I'm moving kind of slow with the Benadryl in my system. So once I see him get up there to that top step, and his brother's apartment was the first door. So as soon as I seen his hand go to knocking, I slid over in the driver's seat, put the car in drive, and I peeled out. This super crackhead track runner was on my tail. He was on the side of the car from upstairs. When I pulled off, he was running on the side of the car, pulling on the door handle. Good thing I locked the doors because he could have swung the door open and just jumped in the car. I'm telling you, I'm going full speed up out of this apartment complex trying to get away from him. And I'm telling you, he running. And I'm talking about he is on the side of the car, keeping up with the car and everything, y'all. I'm like, oh my God, I'm shaking in my boots because I ain't never had to run away from somebody like this. So I'm scared all at the same time. I'm shaking and I'm just like, Lord, please don't let me crash my car. Don't let me get caught. And I hear him yell because the window was a roll down window or whatever. So it was cracked just a little bit. Not enough for him to stick his hand through or anything like that, but enough where I could hear him yelling. That's why I'm going to call the police. You know your license suspended and you ain't supposed to be driving. I'm finna call the police and I'm gonna make them pull you over. You going to jail tonight. Okay, that's fine. I went ahead and called the police myself. Let them know my license was suspended. This man, I'm running away from a domestic violence situation. And all I'm trying to do is get me and my car back home. I am out of the area right now. I'm aware that my license is suspended. Whatever I got to do to keep myself good or whatever. I called him, and then at the same time too, I'm like, I'm still under this Benadryl. So I say, ma'am, my biggest issue right now is that I've taken Benadryl. I say, this man woke me up out my sleep, forced me to ride with him here. He's not even supposed to be driving my car. I'm not supposed to be driving my car because my license is suspended. I say my car was parked at home where it should have been and was not being driven until he forced me into the car with him or whatever. I say, so I just want to know, I just want y'all to be aware that I am under the influence of Benadryl. If an officer see me swerving in the road or something like that, to just know that I am trying to get away from somebody who was abusing me. Okay? So this is what I told the officer. They was like, okay, I tell you what, that's fine. We'll have some people post up. And when you make it home, call us back and let us know that you made it home safely or whatever. So I did that. I got all the way home with the grace of God. I'm telling you, I was falling asleep. I was whatever I was doing, but I wasn't pulling over because he could have got somebody else's car and he could have been right on my tail. I just didn't know, but I wasn't taking no chances. So I got the car on home and called them, notified them, let them know that I was I made it home safely or whatnot. And so the next day would be Sunday. So he came home that Sunday night. By this time, my son is back home. So I told my son what happened or whatever. And so I'm like, I'm calling the police if he come back here or whatnot. And so me and my son had a couple of bats in the house, you know, just was ready for whatever. Because at this point, I don't know what this man is capable of doing. He done already showed me the crazy side. I ain't finna play with it no more. It is what it is. So it was about 9 o'clock. I had done already sat there and waited around. I had done put the recliner chair in front of the door, so that way I can sit here and watch the door and make sure that he don't come through that door or whatever. I felt like I was in a zombie apocalypse, y'all. Sitting here with this bat in my hand, because I'm like, if he come through that door, if he get in this house, I'm going to wear him out. I promise you, I'm going to wear him out. And my son was on Team Go. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I had to do whatever I had to do to keep myself and my son alive at this time. So, yes. Even though it was not a child's place to be in this position, but baby, we finna rock his world. If he come up in here tripping, we finna do so. We are. He 13, but we gonna do what we gotta do. And it was his idea of the bats or whatever, but you know, that's neither here nor there. I did what I need to do to keep me and my son alive. So it's about 9 o'clock. At this time, I done decided to go ahead and pipe down and go to sleep. So as soon as I get into a good little sleep, I hear a knock at the door. Now, we got a little window in the door where you can see before you open the door or whatever. So I look out the window. It's him. Babe, open the door. I'm sorry. I just want to come in here and apologize. I ain't with the craziness or nothing tonight. I'm good. I'm on chill. I just want to come get in my bed and whatever. And I'm just like, no. And while I'm standing there telling him no, I'm calling the police. So call the police. Police get there. A man and a woman show up. First, they standing outside talking to him. And then the lady comes inside and she talks to me and she's asking me what's going on. So at this time, I'm telling her everything. I'm telling her that he's on drugs. I'm telling her about all the abuse that he's been doing to me. I told them about him and my son getting into it. The moment I finally get a chance to talk to the police, the only thing she says to me is, well, because he lives here, he gets mail here, and his clothes and things are here, the only way that you can dispute this is in court. You got to go and get an eviction for him to get out of the house. Other than that, we can't make him leave. We can't make him do anything. You have to go file the eviction, and then 30 days after you file the eviction, then that's when the court will make him leave, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, this man is violent. She was like, well, you and your son could leave the house and let him stay here, and y'all can find somewhere else to go that's safe for the night or until things cool down. And I'm just like, this. So had I called the police any other time, would they have done anything? Because when she came there that night, they was telling me ain't nothing they could do, basically. So I waited all that time to finally get in touch with the police, and they can't do nothing. I got to get an eviction, take it through the courts. That's all they gave me. That's all they said. So I still got to maintain surviving to make it until move out date. So here we is. Me and my son leave, and we go and sleep at my job. I let my son miss school that day because of what happened, and you know, so he ain't gotta go to school unfocused and all that good stuff. Take him to the job. He chills with me at work, at the job or whatever, and you know, clear his mind because move out day is coming. So when we get ready to so when I get off work that following morning, it's gonna be move out day. So we just gotta maintain through the night till the morning time come. We got to go and finish packing up the house. And, during all this time here, stuff has already been packed up. So I still got to go get the U-Haul and all that good thing, all that stuff to do to move out of this place or whatever. So we do that. We move out of the place, and now it's time to take him back where I got him from, where it all started. I'm taking him back to that place, which is the same place where I left him at that night in my car. Taking him back there to exit out of my life. On the way there, why did I take him? Because I needed to make sure that this man was out of my city. Because he wanted to know where I was going. He was still trying to hang on to me, and was like, well, you probably going to your auntie house again, so I'll just go and stay across the street in the woods close to you over there. For what, sir? We done. So he started taking it as a joke, once again in the end. And so I'm like, heck no, you done too much. Too much. I'm not even considering taking you back. You done wore out your welcome. It's a wrap. It's a done deal. So once again, that 10-year-old kid came back out. So we riding down the road, and he just bursts out, please turn the car around. Don't take me back there. I don't want to go back there. You all I got. This, that, and the third. I say, honey, the train is already rolling, and I'm not turning around. So now he's starting with the craziness again. I say, listen, you do anything stupid to me right now, I'm going to put you out right here. Right here. You ain't close enough to your city to be cutting up right now. You might want to try that when you get a little closer to your city. Then I can put you out and you in walking distance. I say, but if you try anything right now, I'm going to put you out right here, and you're going to have to foot it the rest of the way. So he sat back and thought about it yeah, she right. Let me not mess with her. But then the crackhead in him just burn her. So he's smoking a cigarette at this time. And so he decided he want to try and burn me. I said, you burn me with that cigarette, I'm finna open the door. I'm finna kick you out the car while it's rolling. I say, play with me. I said, I ain't sick today. I'm not sick today. Play with it if you want to. I said, let me go on and get you back to your city where y'all got you from, and we can go ahead and call this thing a wrap. I say, this is it. Ain't nothing you can say or do to make me change my mind. I say, you going. If I got to drag you back there, you going. I say, you got to get away from me. This it. I did too much. Too much. It's a wrap. So the rest of the ride, he chilled. He cried. He whined. He kicked and screamed, but he didn't bother me. So I got him on to his little destinations or whatever, and dropped him off. And of course, he was trying to leave stuff in the car, so that way he would have to call me, and I would have to turn around and come back, or he would try to save it for another day to be like, oh, I left my shoestring in your car. I need my shoestring back. So so he can see me again. Done been there, done that, sir. Nope. That's why I make sure anytime I'm telling somebody I'm done, make sure you get all your stuff. Take everything. Don't leave nothing behind. I don't want no phone calls later on talking about something, I forgot such a... No, you ain't forgot nothing. Take everything with you. So getting him back to his hometown was a success. After that, I meant what I said. It was a wrap. No talking to him. No, none of that. He tried to come back, he was calling me and stuff and doing all that begging and all that good stuff. And, I listened to it for a little while, but it didn't move me. I still meant what I said. I said, you took it too far. I said, you at a point of no return, sir. I don't even want to be your friend. I said, everything has died. I'm done. It's a wrap. So it has been 9 years since that relationship. Yeah, it's been a long time. So that was a wrap. That was the end of that one. And since that relationship, I ain't tolerating no physical abuse at all. I might have accepted some physical, some verbal, but that physical, you can miss me with that. And now I'm getting so strong to the point where we ain't even finna accept no verbal or no physical. We ain't accepting none of that because I love myself a little bit too much now to be accepting those kind of things in my life. And so now that I've experienced these things, now I can see them a mile away. I ain't saying that I'm no narc expert now, but the little things that I have learned, baby, listen, I ain't ready to start dating again. Cause right now, I'm not done healing. To me, everybody a narc. That's how I know I ain't healed yet. I ain't really, ready to move on in life because I know better. I am sitting back, healing and growing for real. Because a lot of that went from jumping from one relationship to a next one and didn't have time to actually soak in everything that I had just went through. I healed myself while I was able to move forward and not, close off love or whatever. And I'm still not closing out love, but baby, it ain't gonna be that easy. I'm not gonna just hand my heart out no more like I used to. I'm gonna use precaution. So that was my crazy, toxic, narcissistic, crackhead situation that I went through before this last toxic, narcissistic, full-blown narcissistic relationship. That was the one that opened my eyes to see what was really going on with me and the different men that I had done, allowed in my life and stuff like that. So I still got more stories, y'all. And when I think of more red flags and different things that I feel like can help us that are trying to grow and get through this situation, I will make videos on them. I said, and so I'll be coming to you next about the house situation, because that was a whole hot mess too. Didn't have nothing to do with the narc, but it had something to do with people playing on my mental. People just always play these games. It's not only men, it's not only just the people that I date, it's a lot of people have played on me throughout my life. And so I'm just sharing all of my stories, and if you're interested in it, stay tuned. If not, I understand, but I love you guys. I appreciate everything you guys do for me. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And you know what I say, fall in love with yourself every day, more and more, whether it's a little bit at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. Fall in love with yourself because you are worth it and you deserve it. Mwah. Until next time, y'all have a good night.